Here's the math that should bother you. One good piece of UGC, the kind a real creator films for you, runs you $150 to $400. And you don't need one of them. You need 30, because 29 won't work and the entire game is finding the one that does. So what if those 30 cost you almost nothing? Picture the thing you're going to walk out with. A finished spokesperson video. A real-looking person reading your hook straight to camera, captions burned in, ready to drop into a feed. No camera, no actor, no shoot, no schedule, no half a grand. You'll build one yourself, from a script, start to finish. And by the end, you'll know how to turn that one into 30 more in an afternoon. I'll be in Creatify for this. 3 moves, that's the whole thing. First, we cast who reads it. Then we give them a voice and the words. Then we caption it and render it out. Let's go. You've been told AI avatars look fake and torch your ad spend. 2 years ago. Fair, they did. 2 things have changed since. First, the avatar quality got a real upgrade late last year. The dead giveaways, the mouth shapes on F and V sounds, the frozen stare on an emphatic line, got noticeably better, and the share of takes you'd throw straight in the bin dropped from about 40% down to about 30%. Still not perfect. I'll show you the exact spots where it still tells, so you can work around them instead of getting burned by them. But here's the number that actually moves this decision. On the paid plan, a finished video costs you roughly $2. $2. A human creator is $150 to $400 for a single one. That isn't a discount, it's a different category of decision entirely, and that price flips the whole job. AI UGC is not your hero ad, the one that scales for months and carries the brand. That's still a real human in front of a real camera. This is the thing that comes before it. How you find which hook actually deserves that budget. You run 30 cheap variants cold, you watch which angle the feed rewards, and then you put the real money behind the one that won. From an attribution angle, that's the entire point. You're buying signal, not polish. The polish comes later, on the winner. So stop asking, does this look real enough to ship? Ask, is it good enough to tell me which hook wins before I spend? For cold traffic in normal direct-to-consumer, the answer is a clear yes. And the tool built for exactly that, a script in, a talking presenter out, at prices where testing 30 is nothing, is Creatify. Let's build one. Want to build alongside me? It's all linked below, stackauditors.com/Creatify. There's a free plan, no card, 10 credits, enough to make one of these and judge the quality with your own eyes instead of taking my word for it. Straight up, so there's no surprise later. The free output carries a watermark, and the voice clone and custom presenter steps I'll show both need the paid plan. Open it now, pull up a product you actually sell, and let's go. First, let's cast who's going to read the ad. From the home screen, the door we want is the avatar video path, talking videos with a real-looking presenter. The other paths build different things. This is the one that turns a written script into a person on camera, so we head straight in there. Now the casting choice feels cosmetic. It is the exact opposite. It's the single biggest thing standing between you and a feed that scrolls right past you in 1 second flat. So before you even pick a face, here's the mistake to avoid. Don't reach for a tight, dramatic close-up. The closer the camera gets, the more the small tells show up. The eyes drifting a hair off center, the mouth corners not quite landing on the hard consonants, and a cold viewer clocks, this is AI, about a second in, and they're gone. From an attribution angle, that 1 second is the whole ballgame. If they bounce there, your hook never even gets a chance to land. So we cast chest up in a natural setting, and we lean on a quick cutaway in the first second and a half. So the very first thing on screen isn't a talking face at all, it's the product or the problem. That one rule decides the next screen. Let's go find the right presenter. Now the actual presenter. This is the library, and the filters down the side are how you cast for performance instead of for looks. You can narrow by setting, a home, an office, a coffee shop, even a car, by age, by the kind of business they read as, and by what's in the frame with them. Here's why that matters. The presenter has to look like they belong in your buyer's feed, sitting between a friend's video and a meme, not in a corporate stock library. So for a normal direct-to-consumer hook, I want someone chest up in an everyday room holding nothing fancy. I scroll, I find one who reads like a real person who'd actually use the thing, and I lock them in. Notice I'm deliberately not chasing the most polished, most cinematic face on the page. That's the one most likely to tip into the uncanny zone the second they open their mouth. Plainer is safer here, every time. There's also a make-your-own path on this screen. Your own face, or a brand spokesperson you've got rights to. But that one needs the paid plan and a consent step, so we'll park it for now. The stock library gets you a shipping ad today, this minute. Presenter cast. Now they need something to say. And here's the presenter, dropped onto the set. This is where the whole thing comes together. The face on one side, and on the other, the words they're going to read. It's empty right now, which is exactly the state to understand before you fill it, because every choice from here changes what renders. See the controls along the bottom? The shape of the video, the caption look, the quality, and the cost to generate, which the tool quotes you right there on the button. About 5 credits for every 15 seconds of finished video. Hold on to that number. It's the whole reason that, later, you don't just hit generate and hope. Every take you throw away still costs you those credits. One thing I always set first, before anything else, the format. If this is headed for a vertical feed, you set it vertical now, not after you've rendered a wide one and have to start the whole thing over. From an attribution angle, matching the placement is free performance. A vertical ad sitting in a vertical slot simply gets watched longer, and watch time is what the auction rewards. So, presenters cast and standing on the set, format's locked. Next, the voice and the script. Now let's give them a voice and the words. Voice first. This opens the voice library, and these are ready-made voices you can audition one by one, each tagged by gender, age, and accent, so you can match the sound to the face you just cast. That match matters far more than people expect. A voice that doesn't sit on the presenter reads as dubbed, and the second it reads as dubbed, the viewer reads the whole thing as fake, so I pick one that lands naturally on the person on screen. For this one, a male voice, the higher quality model. You'll also notice the option to clone a voice, your own or a brand voice, and to bring one in from a dedicated voice tool. That's the strongest version of this feature, but look closely. The clone slot is locked unless you're on the paid plan. On the free and starter plans, you're choosing from this library. And honestly, for the job we're doing, testing hooks, a good library voice is plenty. Save the cloning for the winner you're actually going to put budget behind. Don't overthink this part. A clean, fitting library voice beats a clone you rushed every single time. Voice picked. Now the words. For the script, you've got two ways in. You can write it yourself, or you can have the tool draft it for you. You hand it a short prompt about the product and pick the tone you want. A story, a straight pitch, something exploratory, something high energy. It writes you a full read in a few seconds, and for getting off a blank page, that's genuinely useful. But here's the mistake to avoid, and this is the one that quietly burns ad accounts. Do not ship that draft as written. On anything niche, business to business, or regulated, the AI drifts generic, or it invents a claim you can't actually back up, and now you've got a compliance problem stapled to your ad. Treat what it gives you as a first pass, then rewrite it in your own words for your real product. And one hard line, no exceptions. Never write it as a fake customer testimonial. I lost 15 pounds. This completely changed my life. An AI presenter saying that to camera is exactly what the ad platforms flag as synthetic media misrepresentation, and that lands as a strike on your whole account, not just a single rejected ad. Frame it as you talking about the product, not a stranger swearing by it. Last thing on the script, keep the whole read under about 20 seconds. Past that, the voice flattens out and the little tells creep right back in. Short, in your words, no fake testimonial. Then we drop it in. Here's the script in place, ready for the presenter to read. And there's one touch worth knowing about. See the little tags sitting inside the script? Cues like quietly or slow down here or an excited line. Those are direction. You're telling the voice where to lean in, where to drop down, where to push the energy. The same notes you'd give a real actor on a real set. A flat read versus one that actually sells. That whole difference often lives in 3 or 4 of these tags. There's also a way to set the tone by example instead of by tag. You record or upload a short clip of the delivery you're after, somewhere between 5 seconds and about a minute and a half, and the presenter adapts its accent and pacing to match what it hears. I reach for that when I've got a very specific energy in my head and the written cues aren't getting me there. From an attribution angle, the read is the creative. 2 presenters reading the identical script can pull completely different watch time, so this minute of tuning is worth it. So, voice chosen, script written in your own words, the emphasis marked where it matters. Our presenter knows their lines. Last move, caption it and render. Last part, caption it, then render it out. Captions first. These are the burned-in caption styles, and on a paid feed they are not decoration. Most people watch with the sound off, so the words on screen are the ad. They carry the hook, whether or not anyone ever taps unmute. You've got a real range here, from clean and minimal all the way to big, punchy, every word pops. For a cold traffic hook, I want high contrast and a bit of motion, the kind that snags an eye mid-scroll. So I pick one of the bolder ones, not no caption, and not the quiet one. Match it loosely to your brand, sure, but on cold traffic, louder usually wins that first second. One thing that's easy to miss, the captions are pulled straight from your script automatically, so if you already rewrote the script, they're already correct word for word. You're choosing the look here, not retyping a single thing. Style picked. Now we set the output and render. Before we generate, 2 settings decide what actually comes out. The format, vertical for a feed, which we set back at the start, and the quality. And right next to generate, the tool's reminding you of the price. About 5 credits for every 15 seconds. A 15-second ad is a small spend, but it isn't free, and that matters for exactly what I'm about to say. Here's the mistake that costs people real money. They hit generate once, get a take, and download it. Don't. Roughly 1 render in 3 comes back with a flaw you can actually see. A lip sync slip on an F or a V, a hand that warps as it comes into frame, a dead half second where the face just sits there. So you generate more than you'll ship, call it 1.5 times as many, and you watch every take before you spend a credit downloading it. Bad takes are completely normal. Quietly shipping one is the mistake. And one more, if you're on the free plan, the output carries that watermark, and the feeds auto-flag watermarked third-party branding as low-quality creative, which quietly caps your reach before you've spent $1. Clear it before you promote. That's the one upgrade that genuinely pays for itself. Settings set, expectations set. Generate. And there it is, the finished ad. A real-looking presenter, reading your hook straight to camera, captions burned in the format you set. Watch it once, all the way through, sound on, then sound off, the way your buyer actually will. Does the read land? Do the captions track the words? Any tell in that first 1.5 seconds, the part that decides whether anyone sees the rest of it? If it's clean, you download it and it's ready for the feed. If something's off, you already saw why earlier. Wrong presenter, too long read, a bad take that slipped through. So you fix that one thing and run it again. And here's the whole payoff. You just built one, start to finish, for the price of a coffee. Which means the next 30 cost you the same coffee. Same script, swap the presenter. Same presenter, swap the hook. Same hook, swap the opening line. That is a real hook test. test. 30 angles, run cold against live traffic. For less than one creator would have charged you for one. That's the build. Cast a presenter, give them a voice and a script, caption it, render. One ad done, and 30 more sitting right within reach. If you take one thing away from this, take this. AI UGC isn't your hero ad. It's how you find which hook earns the hero budget in the first place. You just watch the whole thing come together. You cast a presenter, gave them a voice and a script in your own words, styled the captions, and rendered a finished ad. And none of it needed a camera, an actor, or a shoot. The real unlock, though, isn't that one ad. It's that the 30th one costs you the same as the first. So the expensive part of testing creative, the part that used to gate everyone out of running real experiments, just quietly stopped being expensive. So, your move. Before you brief another creator or book another shoot, go build 3 versions of one hook and run them cold against each other. The link's sitting in the notes below. StackAuditors.com/Creatify. Free plan, no card to start. Cast your first presenter, write one real script, and have a finished ad on your screen inside the next 10 minutes. Then let the feed tell you which hook wins. Thanks for watching.